Your Irrelevance Redwood blasts Labour's single market U-turn threatening EU talks. John Redwood has slammed Labour's dramatic promise to keep the UK in the single market and customs union post-Brexit, saying the party aims to weaken the government's position before formal talks. The Tory Leave supporter questioned whether the U-turn policy on the European Union represents the leadership's views and said the party is making themselves an irrelevance on Brexit issues by flip-flopping around. The staunch Brexiteer said, presumably the aim was to try to weaken the government's position just one day ahead of important talks with the EU, as a warm-up to Mr. Blair's audience later in the week with the EU Commission on the same issue, when he will doubtless want to argue for some kind of continued or watered-down membership of the EU for a country which has democratically voted to leave. The opposition is making themselves an irrelevance on this important issue by flip-flopping around. Following their sensible statements to back our leaving the EU after the referendum decision. The new Labour policy was unveiled by Shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer over the weekend and includes plans to continue current EU membership during the transition period, which could last up to 4 years. Sir Keir also made clear the party is open to negotiating a new permanent single market and customs union deal after the UK leaves the bloc. The move sparked fury among Leave-backing Labour supporters who warned it would cost the party votes in the Midlands and North. Labour's blow to the final Brexit deal have also put formal negotiations under fresh pressure, despite months of party support for a clean break from the single market. Tories have accused Labour of a weak attempt to kick the can down the road, but Jeremy Corbyn responded saying government confusion had left Brexit Secretary David Davis in danger of wandering into a cliff-edge Brexit during talks in Brussels. Mr. Davis, who will meet with EU chief negotiator Michael Barnier later today, is said to be frustrated with EU's insistence on a divorce bill before moving on to trade talks. Brussels, on the other side, is thought to be furious with Britain's refusal to put a figure on the final bill, estimated at between £50 and £80 billion. Mr. Davis is expected to say he wants to agree a Brexit deal in the interests of both sides as he opens negotiations. He will say, for the UK, the week ahead is about driving forward the technical discussions across all the issues. We want to lock in the points where we agree, unpick the areas where we disagree, and make further progress on a range of issues. But in order to do that, we'll require flexibility and imagination from both sides. He will add, our goal remains the same. We want to agree a deal that works in the best interests of both the EU and the UK, and people and businesses right across Europe. And we're ready to roll up our sleeves and get down to work once more. Labour's new EU policy also raised the prospects of possible setbacks for the government in vote on the EU withdrawal bill when MPs return to Westminster in September. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.